CONCORD is officially dead. The servers have been shut down, and the Steam forums is dancing on its grave. Let's read some posts. Morgan Le Fay with a nice bait post farm to just a react titled, "CONCORD had so much potential. Are you satisfied now? I could have been playing with some of the best people in the world, the most kind-hearted and sweet people. Yet you wanted to personally attack us and terrorize us. You're all a bunch of bigoted, misogynistic cis males. CONCORD would be a great game, but you attacked the pride flag and some other thing I don't recognize and don't respect us. What did we do to you? And this so-called woke that you call it doesn't exist. I'm crying right now, and you are the cause of it." Familiar name Poizo says, "Mission accomplished." Podolski says, "Unlikely words from one with stolen booba pic from random Instagram." Bonnie has a laugh. Donde esta Francesca says, "Open Steam profile, find out VAC ban almost 5 years, conclude troll post, moving on." Really? You don't say. Nordwind farmed some stickers and said, "Happy closing day CONCORD, TM. This is a small victory in a big war." Kernor Log says, "We won't miss CONCORD." Podolski, familiar name, says, "Rest in piss forever, miss." Kiteless with some kanji says, "Try making a game next time." Poizo once again says, "This is one of the best days of my life." Weirdo Trumper says, "Hawk to us, spit on that grave, rip." Seals replies and points out that there is a physical copy of the game right now listed on eBay for $7,500. Termix replies, "Imagine having a copy signed by the professor and Wisniewski, who said, quote, 'We need to atone for our white privilege,' unquote, and Mr. Talentless Freaks TM. That would be an actual collectible. I'm available. Sincerely, the Professor TM." Id, a bunch of numbers, familiar name, says, remember, the 6th of September. Dreaming Cactus, drawing parallels to this game shutting down and the Battle of Stalingrad. Senor Pillulils starts a new thread and says, 90% of the people defending this of a game don't own it. I wonder why they defend a game they don't even play or own. Strange. Mr. Soul, pointing out the elephant in the room, says, "Welp, can't own something that no longer exists." Asher Vicious, coming in to kill all the fun, says, "They want to farm awards. If Steam weren't a cesspit, it wouldn't be an issue. But Steam is a cesspit full of the lowest common denominator, so go figure." Carpe X Noctum, who owns CONCORD, writes, "You can't really tell now since Steam automatically process refunds for those who purchased it directly on Steam. One of my friends was issued a refund as early as September 3rd, whether they wanted it or not. A refund was not processed for me since I pre-ordered from Fanatical." What are you doing, dude? Come on. I can't believe people like this exist. Pre-ordered from Fanatical? Are you kidding me? Dragon Master replying to the OP says, "Because they are keyboard warriors. They are fighting for the idea of the game, not the game itself. They want the message the game represents, in their heads and online, pushed forward. They couldn't actually care less about supporting it with their own money when it comes to brass tacks." Freezerino says, "Because they're not here for the game. They are here to hate something they don't understand." Lavender replies to Carpe X Noctum and says, "You deserve to lose your money since money isn't a concept you seem to understand." DDC, who owns CONCORD, says, "I have it. Still have access as I bought it through CD Keys, who have since refunded me. It was fun and the gameplay was smooth and tight. Video games aren't my identity, so I really don't care about woke/non-woke/whatever the current thing in quote gaming unquote is. Bought the game, played the game, enjoyed the game. Game is gone, got my money back, on to the next game. Easy. Kids growing up with games today have such deep-rooted extreme negativity. It's weird." I don't know, man. If you're posting in the Steam forums, I don't think you can say this with a straight face. Carpe X Noctum refuses to put down the shovel and says, "On the contrary, I pre-ordered the deluxe edition on Fanatical, which was nearly the same price as only the standard version on Steam." You bought the deluxe edition of Concord. This is why these games exist. This right here is why these games exist. If you were ever wondering, like I am, why these games exist, this right here is why they exist. Nemerlight with a new thread says, so this forum still being up means game might come back as F2P? Like, why else is this still up? People can't talk about the game because it's impossible to play it now. Uncle Makulu says, the game will come back as a F2P title. Sony ain't gonna scrap it just because it failed once. They need to get as much money back from the development, time, and money they invested in it. They're currently planning on how to monetize it as an F2P game and change the gameplay mechanics to be more esports friendly. Oh God, I hope they do. I hope they do. Lavender replies to that with a giant ASCII art clown. Berries and Cream starts a new thread and asks, how can we save Concord? Maybe a GoFundMe campaign or some Change.org petition? A Patreon for the devs? Maybe if we send letters to Sony asking to make Concord F2P and just monetize it like any other F2P game? Makes sense. Maybe a founders pack, $40, same price as before, but this time you get goodies, cosmetics, etc. When everything else fails, I've seen that boob can have a positive effect, but that doesn't always work, yet they didn't even tried. We want to save Concord? If yes, then share your ideas. If no, please just say no without controversy. This thread is for people who want to preserve this game. Everyone loses when games are shut down forever. No jesters for this guy, unfortunately. Sir Random, first reply, farm some stickers, says, learn necromancy. Snowstorm says, start over. Maybe go back in time to ancient Greece and find some guy named Theseus and ask him for advice. Jeb the Doom says, I'm not giving you free Steam points. Chaddock says, if all 50 of you give them $4 million, they recoup the money they spend to satisfy all of you. Sir Random, who farms some points, says, thanks for the gold, kind stranger. Reno Suke Kudo turns and engages. This might be a troll, but in all seriousness, it ain't coming back. Not by Sony at least, that's for sure. They've already burnt their hand. If they pulled the plug that fast, like hell a company that big will give it a second try as a F2P. The only miracle, like the first post said, it'd be actual necromancy at this point, would be some other big company buying the rights off Sony, buying the studio behind the game, then republishing as an F2P. But given how little people were playing, no one will take such a huge risk. Best case scenario that's more realistic is to take the code they have and repurpose it into a slightly different experience. Concord as it is, 100% dead. Hell, Klonoa has a bigger chance to get a third game on main consoles and PC than Concord has to be brought back. Klonoan 3 is less likely than half of Steam winning the lottery all at once, and yes, this saddens me deeply. By another metric, it's more likely to see Half-Life 3 announced and released. Barry Delight says, that's the neat part. You don't. Ajvar the Boneless says, convince Sony to sell the IP as well as source code and assets to you, then get a team of devs to work on it for another 2 to 3 years to make it not Hope you have $200 million on hand. I'm sure Sony would be ecstatic to recoup their loss. Face it, it's deader than dust, and it deserved it. Mitsu asks, have you tried going back in time? Anti-Citizen 1, very skeptical. Is this for real or another elaborate point farm? Wei Kane says, get our least 100,000 of your friends to buy and play the game daily at minimum of 6 months. Then Concord might just got a chance. Emo Gangster says, reading these forums are better than this game could ever be, lol. Sir Random points out that 25,000 people bought the game. Black Fox points out that 25,000 units were a sales projection though. According to the number of the earned achievement for killing the first enemy, it's around 1,250 people. Wow. Wow. But my private profiles, guys, my private profiles. Dragon Master with some quoted posts. Cannot into math. Dead Haymaker says, LGHD TV with a bunch of hearts. This game has no right to exist. I'm glad Hearts is bent. Berries and Cream has not given up on the Jester farm. The OP replies, this game was loved by thousands. There's still hope, don't give up. Denny pointing out that, yeah, of course, loved by thousands, but max player count was 600. Excuse me, Denny? It was actually in the 700s, so get it right, bigot. Iceword writes, it needs to be killed painfully, and the studio who comes up with this hearts. Let me remind you, Sony was thinking about publishing like 10 live service crap and hope one of them sticks to the wall. They're expecting most of them won't make it, and this is one of them, along with those talentless freaks in those studios. Poizo, familiar name, responds to the Love by Thousands remark. I believe him though. Thousands did love the game, they just didn't buy it. They supported the game online, and that's all that matters to them. Swaganor B writes, I remember being on the Concord Reddit, LeMayo. They act like people are playing the game, posting screenshot and vids of their Rafflemow kills or some shit. Didn't watch, but they made it sound like a huge deal. The amount of coping and seething was unreal. Swaganor B once again says, was just there for the entertainment. Got banned for saying, why are you guys acting like people are playing this game? Actually, my entire Reddit account got perm banned. Good riddance. Worth it. Was, not was, replies to the OP and says, get the other 200 people who bought this garbage and petition Sony. Good luck. Hiragana, familiar name, says, maybe they should have released diet DLC and plastic surgery DLC. Bone Bullet writes, Concord may have been lost, but there's still settlements out there that could use the Minutemen's help, General. Here, I'll mark them on your map.
Get out of my sight.
Rant Sama writes, if people weren't buying the game from its store page, what makes you think they'll donate to a GoFundMe? This game never even broke 680 concurrent players. Wait, no, really? I thought it was in the 700s. Oh no, I got it wrong. I'm the bigot. This game never even broke 680 concurrent players. They wasted tens of millions on marketing and only gained negative hype from the woke, ugly characters. They will never risk marketing this hearts ever again. If they want to save the game, they need to do two things. One, give the rights to a non-woke studio. Firewalk's name is poison and people won't trust them. 2, strip everything down to bare mechanics and make sexy, handsome, cool, interesting characters. This is the only way to salvage this game, but the chances of it happening are 0. When Get Woke, Go Broke succeeds on such a spectacular level like this, it's a huge win because it means woke hearts is less likely to be made in the future and DEI industry comes closer to collapse. Means to Deny writes, remake the game where you put more heroes that their backstory is to hunt down and kill the original Concord characters. That I would definitely buy because there should be a game about crushing weirdos and gay aliens, and there are definitely people who also identify as such. Dragon Master acknowledging his math was wrong and holding his L with dignity. Boo! Start fighting! Boo! I beat Otz, who owns Concord and is currently in game playing Concord. Human cockroaches ruining final hours of Concord. Immediately sewer slide after game starts so Rivals game mode is unplayable. Not to mention I see few blatant hackers. I just hate these people. Podolsky, familiar name, writes, wow, what a celebration. Now I'm regretting not being there. Kernorlog writes, the do sewer slide for trophy hunting and that the fasted way. Also kind of foreshadowing considering their audience. Sir Random writes, finding an actual player on these discussions is like finding a shiny Pokemon. Have a treasure box for actually having supported this game. And then, yeah, sure enough, there it is. Kiteless, familiar name, writes, with the amount of self-hatred a Concord consumer must have, this feels like a fitting end to the game. Lamiosa writes, maybe you should report them so they get banned tomorrow. Macon X writes, not only Concord is inclusive for diversity, but also oh my god, dude. Very thoughtful from Firewalk and Sony. Carpe X Noctum, who is also currently in-game playing Concord, writes, they are just trying to make the matches go faster to farm levels since Rivalry offers a generous amount of XP. And the servers might not be totally offline yet. Carpe Noctum writes, you should not assume that number as the amount of matches they were able to play. You are overlooking factors such as when they got the game and started playing and how often they actually played. I have had the game since early access, and I also played during the open beta. I didn't devote my entire time to Concord since I have other games that have time-limited events and battle passes that needed priority. Consume! Give me more live service slop. Carpe Noctum once again writes, finding matches does not take half an hour. It generally takes under a minute for Brawl and Overrun and slightly longer for Rivalry. Now, during during the final days, matching into rivalry has been quick. You know, I got to admire after getting your face spat on and stomped on and trampled by these large publishers publishing this live service slop, the willingness to continue playing the violin on the deck of the Titanic as it goes down. There's something to be said about that. Ding Chavez, seen him before, writes, the way to stop this would be basing rewards on merit. Do well, play hard, get rewarded. Something liberals don't believe in generally. Now liberals hate and love merit-based rewards. Hilarious. As it stands now, this is the equity part of your little DEI game. Die instantly, get the same rewards as someone who carried your whole team for the entire match. Lie in the bed you've made. Y'all deserve every second of this. LOL. Carpe Noctem is still here. Kiteless responds to Carpe Noctem. He writes, matchmaking must be bad if you keep finding time to post here whilst being in game. Carpe Noctem replies, right now I'm just taking screenshots of my free gunners and reading the lore in the Galactic Guide. Oh god, that's gotta be a troll. But he bought the game, he's playing it right now. How can this is the most dedicated troll? And like 2 people are gonna read it. Oh, what's there even to say about that? You know what, I'm just gonna move on. Termix writes, that's actually sad. Keep the memory alive until they return. Kiteless replies to Carpe Noctem. There's a mere 35 people in game right now. Says a lot about the game when the few people who bought it can't even be bothered to give it a send-off. Carpe Noctem replies right away. 35 people on Steam. Got him. Termix writes, ah yes, we forgot to count the millions of players on other platforms, TM. They also forgot them when they announced the end of service. Whoops. Silly writes, by the way, I made a thread for poor souls like you who bought the game on Steam. Find it and be the first owner of the game to post in it to get some Steam points with a chicken. Carpe Noctem, dude, just give it a rest. Oh my god, go play the game. It's about to die. It's already dead. Play the game. Why are you posting in the Steam forums, brother? Carpe Noctem writes, well, I doubt many from Steam are able to even play since the game has been delisted. 2 of my friends who own the game on Steam were issued refunds as early as September 3rd, whether they wanted them or not. A refund was not processed for me since I pre-ordered from Fanatical. Oh my god. I wonder if he learned anything from this. Probably not. He'll probably be the first one in line to pre-order CONCORD 2 Digital Deluxe Edition. Goatstar writes, a fool and his money, something something. Oh my god, dude, stop this. Carpe Noctem, you need to just log off, bro. It's over. Carpe Noctem writes, I didn't get scammed. I actually saved by paying the same price for the deluxe edition as I would have for the standard edition on Steam itself. I liked the game, so I bought it. Oh, Jesus Christ, man. I didn't get scammed. I actually saved. He actually wrote this. This is a guy that owns CONCORD and is currently playing it. I don't mean to go after this guy so hard, but Jesus Christ, man. You can't write this. Oh my god. This guy got nothing. Nothing, and he's still shilling for it. Oh my god, this is painful. All right, we gotta move on. Senor Pilius writes, Lamau. Kiteless writes, of course you got scammed. You paid for a live service game that was meant to be supported for years to come, and you got a whopping 2 weeks out of it and can't even refund it because you got the game from a key seller. Lavender, replying to Carpe Noctem, posts an ASCII art clown emoji. Well said, Lavender. Carpe Noctem again, dude. Oh my god. Doesn't even feel right to read this anymore. Like, I feel like he's already dead. Well, if he posted it, I gotta read it. Carpe Noctem. You mentioned this as if I don't already own Team Fortress 2. Team Fortress 2 is free to play, but I acquired it with my purchase of the retail edition of the Orange Box. So you paid for a free game. I paid for a free game. That means I won. You also seem to assume I am unaware of other hero shooters. Carpe Noctem, double posting. Nice to see that my reputation precedes itself. How does taking part in the discussion of games I genuinely enjoy that do not deserve the treatment they are receiving make me a troll? Dude, this game that you genuinely enjoy is going off in mere hours if it's not already offline. And he's just arguing on the Steam forums against actual people that are here to read your anger for their entertainment. And you're still doing it. Poizo, familiar name, writes, you're welcome. Enjoy the game. Carpe Noctem with another double post writes, writes, Fanatical is a licensed and legitimate key seller. I want the game to remain in my Steam library. Carpe Noctem double posting replying to Poizo says, you seem to be trying to take credit, but I've owned Team Fortress 2 for several years already. Now I want to believe Carpe Noctem is trolling, but he's got 53 hours played in Concord and he's currently playing it. And I looked, there was no place to get this for under 30 bucks unless I didn't look hard enough, but I did look pretty hard. At minimum, he spent the money. So this is a pretty dedicated troll. I'm gonna have to leave this thread soon. I'm losing my fucking mind. Ghost Star replies to Carpe Noctem, writes, those games has no connecting theme or even in the same genre. Only reason you're here is because they're DEI flops. It's pretty transparent. Carpe Noctem replies, by that logic, then why am I also not active in the Steam discussions for Dustborn? The games I post about have mainly just been Sewer Slide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and now Concord. As a single player game, Dustborn does not face a risk of being shut down since it isn't a live service title dependent on servers to maintain its existence. You do understand that gamers can like games from different genres, right? So he's aware enough to understand that live service titles are dependent upon servers to maintain their existence, yet still pre-ordered the digital deluxe edition from a key reseller and sees nothing wrong with that. Okay, bud. Oh my, dude, it's just his, God, I gotta leave this thread soon. Carpe Noctem with another double post writes, I wasn't oblivious to what could possibly happen regarding Concord. I had similar experiences with games such as Lawbreakers, Battleborn, Mirage Arcane Warfare, and Death Garden to name a few. I regret not spending enough time in those games before they were gone, and I told myself I was not going to let that happen with another game. You're letting it happen right now. You're posting in the Steam forums instead of playing the fucking game, brother. Hiragana replies to the OP and writes, whoa. Don't be so harsh against your fellow modern audience. They were just celebrating community tolerance. Tarius writes, look at the bright side, Carpe. You'll have more time to play Sewer Slide Squad since Concord TM shut down. I know you were closing in on 1,000 hours. Carpe Noctem replies, oh, I fully intend to play more Sewer Slide Squad Kill the Justice League. Episode 4 of Season 2 recently launched. I also plan to conclude playing Call of Duty Black Ops 6 during early access and continue from level 20 to level 30 this weekend. I also always find time to play Fortnite. Okay, it's a troll. It's gotta be a troll. No one writes like this unironically. If it's a troll, you know what, Carpe? You got me, dude. You got me. You won. I bought it hook, line, and sinker. It came at a high price because you bought Concord. Not only did he buy Concord, people went into his Steam profile and found out that he owns games like this one. So he not only paid the money for Concord, he paid the money for more than just Concord. If this is a troll, this is extreme dedication. This is like method acting. Like if he's trolling, he's in so deep that he doesn't even know what's real anymore. Like he doesn't even know he's trolling anymore. Well played, Carpe Noctem. Oh, that's how I'm gonna cope with this though. I'm gonna cope by saying this guy's a troll. There's just like the alternative is too horrific. Like I refuse to believe that people like this exist unironically. Poe's Law is how I'm gonna cope with this. Oh, jeez, Okay, I gotta know what this is all about. Let's swallow the bait, boys. Molly writes, I'm sorry, I can't get through this. Molly writes, Pride flag, Pride flag. The LGHD TV QI plus community stands with Concord. As a member of the LGHD TV QI plus community, I can proudly say that we all stand with Concord and thank them for their support and inclusivity. We will do everything that's necessary to support this game and their developers. These cis, white, istophobic gamers won't get in our way. They don't have a say in inclusivity. Podolsky replies, as an LG OLED TV, I strongly support this. Spud swallows the bait in one bite, writes, you're a freak. You've been tricked. You're what the elite wants. Freaks. More like you, the quicker the elite can rule over us by convincing you they really support you. FYI, games from a Japanese company, one society that's 100 times harsher on LGHD TV community is comical. You have been tricked, pal. Sad. It's bait, dude. Like, it doesn't get any more obvious than this. It doesn't get, well, I guess it does get more obvious, but this is still pretty fucking obvious. A bunch of numbers, familiar name, writes, as a member of no community, I can proudly say that I stand on Concord's grave and I thank it for supporting my body weight. Means to deny, writes, so much money lost and they are pointing fingers at LGHD TV QI+, and how there was like 1% of people playing it. This is a shareholder nightmare, and after this pullout, DEI will have to take a minor role. Looks like Roblox will always be around. Katakana takes the bait. No, I don't, and we aren't a single organism who all think the same. Red writes, WTF has live service slop got to do with the BLT? Saltaire swallows the bait also, right? I'd appreciate that you terminally online weirdos didn't try to group those of us who aren't insane with your absolutist statements. I'm trans and utterly despise Concord, so you don't speak for me. Just like how the terminally online quote-unquote community does not speak for me at all in general. I bet you're one of those that went around harassing trans people who played Hogwarts Legacy so much for quote-unquote we all stand for, when I'm sure you're happy to attack and infight those within the LGHD TV community that don't fully align with your beliefs. Instead of using we and us, please just use I and me, because you'll just embarrass yourself. Thanks again for not representing all us LGHD TV people. It's just amazing how many people can't identify the bait. It's so obvious. It's bait, dude. It's bait. I mean, it's funny for me because I get to read it out loud, but like, you can't just reply like this. It's bait. I recognize this guy's name from the Dustborn forums, and it worked. Look at this. 3 gestures and a hilarious sticker. He got Steam points for this. Oh my god, this thread is still going. Oh geez, look at all of these. My god, Void. He can retire early now with all these Steam points. Like 344 just reacts. I've never seen a number even close to that. Void cleaned house with this post. Let's go to the end. Let's see if there's any good posts near the end. Man, this thread is alive. Even like 12 hours ago, there's just many replies dancing on its grave. People are posting walls of text, just airing their thoughts like it's their diary. Oh, people have so much to say about this. This thread is alive, even way after the fact. People are posting ASCII art Giga Chads, ASCII art Doges. Abyssal Plague admits, damn, I got baited. Well done, LeMayo. Lamiosa writes, there should be a TOTY award, Troll of the Year. 400 community awards and over 1,000 posts. So many people thought it would be serious. Well done. Void the OP replies to that and says, I think I did too good of a job, because even after confessing it was bait, they're still replying in earnest. Yeah, well, I guess that makes sense. You can tell somebody it's bait and they'll still reply with a sincere reply. This is really funny. As he admitted it was bait, and it was, look at this, just walls of text. Sorry, me look panties, I'm not reading that. Slider Red. It makes me happy beyond belief to see an hateful person like you getting mad over a political leftist trash video game. I will remember your Steam name and will boycott anything you ever do in your miserable life again, unless you change your idiotic, moronic beliefs. Is this copy pasta? This has got to be copy pasta. Just like a nice, succinct, concise copy pasta. Just reads like one. Well, Void, you done good. I hope you enjoy your retirement. Let's move on. Beat Defash with a new thread writes, go away, bigots. Leave this game alone and stop putting gesture on everything. This game is not a joke. There are real devs behind it who are losing their jobs. Edit. These guys are literally attacking me. I'm crying right now. Ban them, ban them, ban them. Termix writes, are they? I heard Concord will be coming back for a second round. I really hope they go free to play. We can't let these bigots win. Let us send our energy to the Talentless Freaks TM at Firewalk Studios. I really hope the second round knockout will take less than 2 weeks so they can any percent their own record. Ernor log. Oh god, wish me luck with this one. No noting to do with being being a bigot. The free market did not want this game. The majority did not want this game. But you show your true colors. You want to force people to buy stuff that don't want. You want to have power over people and tell them what to do even if they don't want. The hero shooter market is full. Why would people go from Overwatch when they have hundreds if not thousands of dollars in an hour's why change? This game failed because decisions made by divs, noting to do with hatred and istophobiaism. You only use to see words to hide behind and not self-reflect. So you don't need to accept most people don't like how it looks. And this is for a tiny minority. You want communism because you can't win in a free market. Hundreds of games Dally want to sell stand ought. Be special, and this was not special. Also, insulting gamer is gone. Make sure they're not gone. Bay your game. Breaking news. As I'm recording this, I regret to inform you from the official @PlayConcord Twitter account. Concord servers are now offline. Thank you again to all the free gunners who have joined us in the Concord Galaxy. This was at 12:25 p.m. Central on September 6th, 2024. Sir Ghost the Second writes, hope to see you guys on the other side again someday. Rick Scott writes, rip, hope you all find jobs. Sad. BZB writes, how long will the maintenance take? Can't wait to play with friends on the weekend. EagleFi writes, the janitor finally pulled the plug on his way out of the office, eh? Rest in piss, DEI devs, you won't be missed. Oh god, I bet I gotta see the replies to this. Nobody replies, wow, you must wake up very sad each day. I wish it could get better for you, but your head is a mess. Take every day as it comes, eh? EagleFi replies, cry harder, clown emoji. Pedro comments, what a sad human being. For those of you that don't use Twitter, these are where the real replies are. Let's take a look. Oh, usually it's something a little spicier. T-Hawk begs for a ratio and posts a stuffed animal. He doesn't get the ratio. Max P writes, mad love for the time I had with this game. I moved away from MP games, but I genuinely love this game and I hope it makes a major comeback. Much love to the devs with this emoji. Team Unity replies, no problem, it was very fun. I managed to get every trophy other than 2. The level 100 one I couldn't get since I got the game 5 days ago. There wasn't enough time. I got everyone to level 10 and got my account to level 50 with 1.8k eliminations and 166 wins. I wanted to play this. Jesus, man, it's called a period. Put them at the end of the words sometimes. Jesus Christ, man. That's very wholesome, though. Very wholesome post. Meme Lord X replies, hope you come back online soon. P. Reaper says, played till the end. This is one of the last matches of Concord. Then he posts a clip and he's in the middle of fighting. Yeah, he's gonna fight this guy. And then the servers went offline. Okay, that's pretty funny. Oh, this is history right here. Big ups P. Reaper. You did it, bud. You made history. That's pretty funny. I'm gonna like that one. Zaxby posts sad day, crying face, and the Concord servers are offline message. Man, these messages are like too positive. There's not enough rage bait in here. I guess because there's no clown emojis to farm in the Twitter replies, so. Oh, here's one. Bobby's Dead Bear writes, I hope none of you work in the sector ever again. This was an embarrassing day for gaming as a whole, and everyone associated with this trash should be ashamed. Dwayne Fernandez writes, what about the secret level episode on Amazon Prime? Is that still a thing? That's a good question, actually. Chris Space Marine 2 Astrobot posts a picture of the Astrobot giving a peace sign on top of Concord's grave. Clute pointing out that Battleborn survived longer than Concord. One of the GOATs, my game of the year. No way. Extendo writes, no, I was in a game. And then follows up his post with his own reply, said no one ever. Hoping you can all turn it around with a re-release. Much love to the devs. Unhateable Chaos writes, well, now it's back to Overwatch because we somehow love Activision Blizzard. Yeah, good point. It's been made before. Still a good point. Big Time Playa 45 writes, sad it ended up this way, but hope things you guys can manage. As for the people in the comments, Well, it's not cool to disrespect. Leave them be. Can't satisfy everybody. Well, yeah, you're right. They didn't satisfy everyone. That's technically correct. Rick Rate. Wait, I just bought it at GameStop. Maybe these are just Sony shills out here posting. I'm still in. The servers are still up, guys. It's not over yet. We can get one more game of Concord in. Mets man, I hope you'll all be okay over there. So sorry this happened. I'm pretty sure Sony's gonna be okay, guys. It's a small indie publisher. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, this is just getting boring. This is so stupid. All right, I'm going back to the Steam forums. That's way more fun. Hunter Bloody Moonlight with a new thread writes, Concord is dead, and I don't care. Womp womp. Gator Doll. Hunter Bloody Moonlight double posts. Before I get called a bigot or a wokey, I don't care about woke or anti-woke content. I don't care about the culture war or DEI. I just think the game is very aggressively terrible at character designs, especially in the aliens. Worst looking aliens I ever seen, IMO. They are just humans with body paint or people trying to cosplay aliens, which is an insult to cosplayers because I've seen cosplayers do better at making aliens. Carpe Noctem, familiar name, writes, you care enough to double post about it in the Steam discussions. Call the kettle black, sir. Corey, who owns Concord, writes, I don't care. The gameplay was great and I had a fun time playing while I could. That's what gaming is about. Carpe Noctem, 13 minutes ago, writes, I was unable to connect after my last match due to a version mismatch error. So the game needs an update. Oh man, who's gonna tell him? Oh my god. Carpe Noctem, brother. He writes, I already own nearly all hero shooters, aside from a few of the more recently released ones. Concord actually had a unique mechanic by stacking the passives of each different class played as crew bonuses, but it was overshadowed by the anti-DEI/woke crusade against it. Oh, he's still in Concord. It's over. It's over, brother. The servers are done. It's offline. It's not coming back. He's still in game. All right, I'm gonna leave this thread before this guy posts again. Holy shit. Clint No Nerdy Wood is back on his horse. New thread titled, Show some empathy to the Concord devs. Do you even think before you post? How stupid this failure makes them feel and look? They poured their hard work into this product for 8 years, and instead of being celebrated for their virtue, they are mocked for being disingenuous. Do you have any idea how it might feel to question your entire worldview? That instead of fighting for justice all these years, they might just have been pandering to a minority of non-gamer histronic Twitter users, and maybe even resorted to prejudice of their own? Do you think about how silly that might make someone feel? How it might feel to have the worst flop in gaming history on your CV? To the developers, I want to say, stay strong. Have you lost the financial battle? Sure, but have you lost the moral battle? Arguably, yes to that as well, but you've had an amazing journey full of experiences that have taught you a lot, and no one can take that away from you as long as you live and learn. Hopefully you can return in the F2P model in a comeback for the ages. He did get one gesture out of this. It wasn't for nothing, guys. Clint No Nerdy Wood is out here putting the work in. The People's Champ replies, it won't be coming back in F2P or any form. It's being nuked into orbit. Maybe instead of their soy lattes, they could have bought and supported the game, which was made for them for 8 years. Just a thought. Dude, this guy's made so many threads and they're all like this. How are people still falling for this? I guess that other thread that the guy said was, he admitted in the thread, this is bait, and then people still replied to it sincerely. So people are just always gonna take it sincerely every time. They can't help themselves. Cypherius writes, why would I care about their virtue? It took them 8 years to birth this massive turd. All they demonstrated is that they don't have any talent for making games, and that their 8 years of employment amounted to nothing. Virtue doesn't mean hearts when you're losing a company hundreds of millions of dollars. These are the consequences of their actions, and they should feel them entirely. Kiteless says, me showing empathy. Ha ha ha. Cloud writes, why? They got paid for their work. In fact, they got 8 years in development, which is a great job in the gaming industry. And they haven't been fired or anything yet. So they're doing just fine collecting paychecks while doing a bad job, clearly. Dugian FTW2 writes, people already show plenty of sympathy by not painting the dev house in human excrement. I disavow this. Just want to be clear. I disavow that. Quick radioactive Radioactive 420 TM swallows the bait. Not this time. These people would show zero empathy for others, in fact opening attack anyone who disagrees with their opinions. This time around, the failure and awakening is theirs, and theirs alone to deal with. Mark my words, they will attack the players and blame this on them. Zhu Xiao Zhang, bunch of numbers, writes, they offered a horrible product. They deserve to be fired. Defender of the Dango writes, yes, and it keeps me warm at night that they did nothing for 8 years, produce hearts, and will get fired / shut down. It's well deserved. The irony of them calling others talentless freaks is great. Bo writes, why? They got paid anyway, and keep in mind they get paid an enormous salary. If I was the dev and I worked on this for 8 years and getting paid an insane salary, I would be happy. I wouldn't cry on the internet of what a hearts game I made. If I was the dev, I would just stay silent and start working on a new game. Game is hearts. The devs who were making this knew it was hearts, and this is a fact. Yes, the higher ups are the ones to take the bigger blame, but everyone has a part in this, and it's a complete disaster. All in all, this is an example for other game companies and devs not to work and think like this because their game won't be bought. End of story. I think these two paragraphs contradict one another, but maybe I just read it wrong, but this seems a little contradictory. Adramak writes, they flushed $100 million in the toilet at a minimum. These money could have been spent on PC ports of Bloodborne, first trilogy of Ratchet & Clank or Uncharted, Shadow of the Colossus, Infamous, or literally any other Sony exclusive. I refuse to show empathy to somebody who shows such disrespect to us gamers. Radgal writes, no, and I don't give a heart. If you create garbage, you are supposed to take the accountability for it. I'm hearting tired of this constant hearts hand-holding and wiping of grown adults making the demented decisions of creating hearted games. Heart 'em, and I hope the whole studio goes up in flames with some exclusive at Sony as well. 123 writes, it's not our fault that somebody watched too much Netflix and lost touch with reality. Netflix sketching strays. Moody with a boring take. Just to add to this thread, most of the quote-unquote grunt work employees will be just fine. Those who were in charge of just doing what they were told and weren't in charge of design decisions will just get a job at a different studio. Despite the game being trash, Concord is a competently put together game on the technical side of things. This is not going to harmfully impact those developers as much as people may think. Many have already jumped ship mid/post development for other studios. Well, Moody, you ain't gonna get any jester stickers talking like that, bud. Raylan writes, you took the time to type all that and only got one single jester. Try harder, point farmer. Seems like a slur if you ask me, but he doesn't need to. He got a jester. Look, there it is. There's his jester. He doesn't need to try harder. Sparhawk 122, the developers were calling gamers talentless weirdos. Yep, they actually were. Nickeltoe with an idea. They're going to try to asset flip it with no connection to the Concord brand and make some money back with one or more low-end flips of games. I doubt any progressive characters will be associated. If they want to print money, they would go back and make a single player out of these assets where the enemies and bosses are these characters in a physics-driven engine, allowing the 93% to destroy them in interesting ways, leading to a final boss being HQ California for Sony. The end game screen, after hours of carnage, would say, you have saved this Japanese company from its worst decision in history by defeating the Californians that impersonated it. R34 Angry Eye writes, LeMayo no. Here we go. M. Vorn writes, I feel sorry for the people in the homeless camps that might have some new neighbors soon. Dragon Master writes, the same developers who said to ignore the white noise before the game released when they were being told what gamers had issue with, and after the release called gamers talentless freaks? No, they showed no empathy or humility leading to the game's launch and after it. They deserve none, for they showed none. Sir Cornelius fights a lot. Well, I didn't even know the game existed till it flopped, but to my knowledge it was based on a lot of things. I'm glad they were able to complete a game, truly I applaud them. But now they are known for making one of the worst launch games of all times, which on one note sucks, but on another completely different one, they should have had the insight to prevent this. They lost 200 million. That's a pretty extraordinary screw up. So the faces being frowned at them makes sense. It may not be to your liking and I respect you for voicing your opinion, but making posts like this is doing nothing. The game is gone. Their jobs are definitely going to be strained after this. Your condolences so little more than remind remind people that, oh yeah, they did bad. This is just something to best let die out. Well, I mean, we all learn at some point that this is bait, but Sir Cornelius hasn't gotten the memo yet. It's fine. 510 Deshaun writes, goodbye Concord, and then an enormous wall of text outlining his experiences. Raven Max writes, Concord failed not because of DEI, but because of putting DEI over gameplay and game design. Concord and games like it were propaganda trying to get us to accept this new leftist, trans, LGHDTV, pronoun nonsense, but it's clearly not working. The leftists are too stuck in their own echo chambers to realize this. They are as bad as the far-right conservatives that are also stuck in an echo chamber. Cognitive dissonance is a hell of a drug. BlackRock and Vanguard are funding these studios to push this propaganda to the masses, and it's failing miserably. And it is so reliving to see that it's failing. Games used to be inclusive on their own and didn't push DEI over the gameplay and game design. Games can be inclusive with gay or even trans characters and still be good. But it's when you make a game specifically designed for this group that it fails. It's because you are targeting them directly. And from what we now know, this group doesn't really play video games, and any other neutrally political gamer won't be interested. Bick Asu, they are not the target audience. I am very centrist on the political spectrum, and I have zero interest in this game. Nothing about it looked even remotely interesting to me. It's because tis $40 looks insanely bland, looks worse than Overwatch 2, which is free, and has the most awful character designs I have ever seen. The pronouns and stuff don't matter to me. It's because you tried to push womanist, trans, and far leftist ideologies into the core game design. You made a game for them, and well, to put it lightly, they didn't come.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Freezerino says, yes, I can tell you didn't play the game. Ghost Star replies, to be fair, not many did. Scrubwave writes, that's right, chuds. Concord didn't fail. In fact, it's stronger than ever. Thrust the experts, bigots. Freezerino, to be fair, I think you ought to play the game before you spew this much opinion about it. Scrubwave replies, what are they gonna do, shut it down? Ghost Star saying, it's hard to play it because Steam removed it. Randy Cheese, my God, this man just copies and pastes other people's posts, and look at all these stickers. Randy Cheese can retire on his stickers just from copying and pasting everybody else's hard forged bait threads. The original posters of this don't get any stickers, but Randy Cheese just cleans house. It's not fair. He can't keep getting away with it. Headshot Naisipa writes, I am a bigot, AMA. Gollum 25 with a new thread titled, they nuked the subreddit. It's gone. Not even a shutdown warning. They just deleted the official subreddit without announcing it. Check it for yourself. It's gone, man. LeMayoing at Firewalk even more now. This game is definitely never coming back. Not even as free to play. Does the Discord still exist? I can't check as I was IP banned for suggesting Hamar's feet were smelly. Seriously. There's nothing really interesting in the Discord. I checked for gold dust and I didn't really find anything, so unfortunate. Let's check the Reddit. Lay Epic Reddit, our Concord game. No, it's still up. They didn't nuke it. There's this guy, but and game over. There it is. Unlucky, brother. Rest in peace. This subreddit's not nuked. Oh God, this would be a good place to go too. You Me $5 posts, happy final day, free gunners. Hope y'all enjoy whichever matches you can still get into. See you on the other side. I don't think there's gonna be another side. All right, I'm getting out of here. I can already feel my testosterone going down. Randy says, rare Concord W. Heart Reddit. Hexenhammer says, let the memes roll, and posts a link to Reddit r Game Concord, where there's one post that says Concord Bros. I can't find a match. What gives? My pronouns are was/were, by the way, so please make sure you address me accordingly. Killer Best 1235 Denmark writes, they had to. There were people like me who exposed them. This is all a scam, at least since 2018. Use less than 1 month to create an AI game. Get money, finish product. Stop the product so they do not have to provide anything they promised. Boom. Profit. They're laughing all the way to the bank. Do you think they have to pay back their salary since 2018? No. A pure scam, nothing else. Same old, same old. Scammers open up, do nothing or cheat. Scam, close down, so they don't have to provide anything. Same with guarantees. Insurance, 10-year warranty, and all that sales Mongo Jongo. Furzan farmed 5 clowns. Says, gamers these days are horrible. The game's fine. Yes, it is a little bare bones at the moment, but the matches feel fine. It has a bit of a Lawbreakers feel for me. And having missed that game, this one feels fine. It's actually a breath of fresh air to me in between every damn game looking feeling the same nowadays. People will bash anything these days. I'm loving it so far, hoping for more content along the way. Mr. Soul takes the bait. No one asked for or needed yet another hero shooter. Why are you defending this literal cash grab shovelware when better, more fleshed out free-to-play options exist? Darkius, Lameo, it is going to go the way of Lawbreakers as well. DOA. Oh, you're so close, Darkius. You're so close to getting it. But I will say, Forzan does have time logged in Concord. You can just mouse over his profile and see it. He has about 7 hours in Concord, so he speaks from experience. Loco with a new thread writes, lots of Steam points farmers here. Can I also get some? A lot of Steam points farmers to farm Steam points by acting how much they love this game. Bro, I also need those Steam points and I don't even act. Can I also get some? And the answer is yes, he can, because he got stickers. If you want points, just start directly e-begging for them. It's the new meta. Kana writes, will this place be gone too? I will miss my fellow dunkers more than this game, frowny face. Poizo writes, don't worry, my friend. Companies will continue to pander to the 100 to 500 people out there who want games like these. Once they get released on Steam and Bomb, we'll be back on their forums, laughing as they also close up shop. Hiragana writes, see y'all in discussion when Star Wars Outlaw and Woke Assassin Creed hit Steam. Yep, I'll probably be here too. Samael writes, maybe the true Concord was the friends we made along the way. Id, a bunch of numbers with a new thread titled Experiment. Some of you brave souls try to stay in the game till its servers shut down. Who knows? Maybe you'll get transferred to North Star just like Momonga was transferred into Nazarick. Although, instead of a bombshell, crazy in love succubus albedo, you'll get a 300-pound overweight oh, Jesus Christ. Sejnanji with a meta post and farmed a bunch of Steam points writes, love one. Thanks to all the gamers that didn't support this istophobic and overall hateful game filled to the brim with propaganda. It's no different than a Nazi school lesson about the difference between races back in the 1930s. Games like this are cancer, and just like IRL cancer treatment, games like Concord need to be fully purged in order to heal the community. Thanks again to all you lovely people for doing the right thing, supporting normal, sensible people instead of this cancer. Smiley face. I don't know who this guy's replying to, but Drimicus says, go farm your jesters elsewhere, tar. And he gets a jester for it. Carpe Noctem writes, I do not agree. Nothing in this game was hateful or even woke. I also regret to inform everybody that when you mouse over his profile, you guys can't see it, but he's no longer playing Concord. He was there to the very end. He was playing the violin on the Titanic as she went down. Phoenix Raven has a lot to say. New thread titled, the game is not for you, and are you happy now that the game is closed? So let me get this straight. You concucks. You concucks said that this game isn't meant for, well, whoever you pointed your finger at, and that the game will survive without them. Now that the game tanked due to low sales, since the people you pointed your finger at didn't buy them, crashed and burnt, and will soon be put on euthanasia. Did you put the blame on us for not purchasing this pile of steaming hot hearts? Do you really expect that you can bully gamers into buying hearts they're not even remotely interested in? You do realize that gamers chalk each other in online games, right? They often say stuff in the chat that would make your mother cry if she ever hear those things. And now you expect to shame them by calling them bigots and istophobes and whatever phobic into saving the game. Really? Boy, do I have a bridge to sell you. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of those threads were bait threads. The amount of people that posted this stuff that this guy's referring to, sincerely, is so low. Addy Kernia, new thread titled, "Concord is the best game ever! Now give me my gesture, please." And somebody did. It was from Mr. Soul. Rat with a new thread titled, "To the heartless gaming community. There are 132 million users of Steam globally. Only 660 allies decided to support this amazing game at its peak. 132 million istophobes and sexists that don't want to support this game because the black trans women. Seriously? Grow up. Sincerely, the good gamers." This is pretty good. Nice and short. This is how you do it. Nice and short, not a big old wall of text. Pasha writes, "All right, nerd." Defender of the Dango. "How are people still responding to these troll topics?" Well, when somebody just straight up says this is a bait post and then people respond to it as if it's sincere, you can pretty much get people to respond to anything. A kid Stargazer says, "You don't even own the game yourself, lol." Sir George, familiar name, starts a new thread. "I won't accept Concord closure." I'm sorry. "I won't accept the refund and I won't accept istophobiaism destroying the game." 11 hours, no gestures, just something you hate to see. It'd be better if you just directly asked, "Please give me gestures." Because those guys actually get them. Rinosuke Kudo, unaware of the nature of this post, says, "Again, Sony and the makers aren't closing due to istophobiaism, and people complaining they are closing because it sold too poorly and Sony decided not to fund it anymore to not lose money in the long run. So if you don't want to accept it, I pray for you that you have means to get in touch with Sony's gaming department's higher ups to either change their mind or get them to sell the rights to some other publisher to bring up the game." Oh my god, this is literally 2 lines, guys. Guys, it's 2 lines. Don't respond to it as if it's sincere. Thank you, Red Shadow writes, "Weak bait is weak, bro." Clearly not. Clearly it's not weak bait because there are multiple paragraph posts responding to it as if it's sincere. And look, 4 pages of replies. 4 pages. We gotta move on. Next thread. Bonnie Gruesome, new thread, writes, "No Steam points for grifters," and he farmed 2 slow claps. Please, folks, I'm asking, not telling, to please stop giving these grifters clown emojis. You're giving away your money to people who don't deserve it. That's as bad as buying Concord. Reward excellent comments if you must. P.S. Don't give me an award. Spend your money you earned on you. With a heart, and people did it anyway. And it's not actually, I'm pretty sure this isn't money. This is just for like little trinkets on Steam, like emotes and such. Familiar name, Beat Da Fash, with a new thread that says, "Mods, ban these bigots. These guys are slandering our game. Concord was supposed to be popular, but these fascists slandered into having little players. And when there are 2 little players in a live service game, you can't really play it. I think you guys should leave the forums and leave it to us fans. Bigots don't belong here." Dead Phoenix says, "Our game?" He also doesn't own the game. Oh my god, Colonel Log. No, I already read one of your barely legible posts. I'm not doing it again. That's way too long, my guy. Killer Best 1235 Denmark writes, "It's not your wife, it's our wife." Pepe Govivi writes, "Go play Dustborn." A lot of overlap between the Concord board and the Dustborn board. It's kind of like very similar boards. Dave the Veteran Finley starts a new thread titled Concord Remastered 2028. Poizo writes, "They gave a robot he, him pronouns. A robot can't be a he, him, or a she, her, only it. Also, what is they, them? That isn't a thing. You know what, Poizo? That's something a bigot would say." New CA writes, "Also, by the way, the robots in Concord are quote unquote sparked, which means they gain sentience, so they choose their pronouns themselves." Well, a lot of discussion here about gender identity. We're not gonna touch that. We're just gonna move on to the next thread. 4 underscores with a Venomancer profile picture writes, "Please help me. I need some Steam points. I don't care that this game is dead, but I found out this place is perfect to ask since it's going to be an empty space soon. And nobody gave him any points. He asked nicely, guys. He said, please. And you bigots didn't give him any clowns. How dare you? Dirter writes bait thread. I don't know. Send the jester. And then somebody did. Jeb the Doomed with a new thread titled Istophobic Bigot Gamers Killed This. Blah, blah, blah. Istophobic Bigotry 1. How do we save Concord? Istophobic bigot gamers hate diversity. Please give me free Steam points. I said the thing. Now give me more Steam points, please. And then somebody did. Apparently they didn't do it right away because Jeb the Doom posts a frowny face and then Devil posts and says, worth a try. 510 Deshaun with a new thread says, it's concording time. Sign the petition to get Concord back online. And it links to a change.org petition that says, we were all busy that week. Please release Concord again. Hey, it's got 788 signatures. Look at that. 788 signatures. That's more people than who would bought the game. Why this petition matters. Concord, their hero shooter from Sony's Firewalk Studios, has shut down as of September 6th, only 3 weeks after its launch. I truly believe the game has a chance and should be re-released. This number's so funny to me. 788. We're almost to the next goal, guys. We can do it, Reddit. Albie accidentally hit the report a policy violation with a sad face. Jack Stormpaw says, I support Soini taking another $100 million dump. AC356 writes, how do you get more signatures than actual player count? No Aim with a Storm Spirit profile picture writes, divide and Concord. One more thread. Last thread. Barry Delight writes, Concord is peak entertaining. Not the game though, but this form is very entertaining to me. Never in my life have I imagined I would be glued to my phone and keep refreshing the Steam page every 30 seconds just to see people dunk on this absolute disaster of a product. This is it, guys. We found the Fire Festival of video games. All right, this thread is locked, so we gotta see what Hearts had to say. If the thread is locked, you know it was good. He got 2 clown reacts for this. It's a thread titled, How do we stop toxicity in gaming culture? Having progressive elements in a game shouldn't put a huge target on its back for widespread ridicule and mockery. This is a cultural problem that runs deep among gamers. What can or should we do to correct course? I just know how much, like 7 pages of what I assume are sincere responses to this. Come on, guys. And you know, for all that, he gets 2 jesters for his trouble. Makona writes, make good games. Pin the Fox says, stick your hearts in a blender with a Steam happy. Oh man, a whole bunch of sincere responses. Oh my God, a bunch of numbers with a wall of text sincerely responding to this. Well, you sparked a whole bunch of discussion, Hearts. I gotta hand it to you. You didn't get any gestures out of it, but you did get a lot of writing out of it. And of course, Janny Eli, unpaid intern at Valve, says, we're locking this thread as it has devolved into non-productive argument. Thanks for your understanding. Good job, Janny. Good job. You did it. Remember, Eli does it for free. He does it for free. Valve might actually pay this guy, but you can't respect a Janny. We don't want Jannies thinking that they're people. All right, well, that's gonna do it for this video. Hopefully you guys had a good time. These forums they show no signs of slowing down. I might have to do another Concord video because there's even more now. Oh my gosh, yeah, but I'm gonna save this for the next one. If there's enough juice, I'll do another video, but if not, I'll just have to move on and bid Concord farewell. But until then, hopefully you guys have a good rest of your day. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.